chosen ones. They called you evil, painted you as the devil incarnate, whispered that you would hurt children and destroy the vulnerable. But right now, at this very moment, the Most High is preparing to expose their own hidden addictions, their fraud, and the money they stole from you. The community that tried to bury your name is about to watch their ringleader get arrested. Not metaphorically, not spiritually, literally arrested for the lies they told to the police about you. See, when someone accuses you of being evil while hiding their own darkness, the universe has a peculiar way of bringing everything into the light, and what's about to be revealed will vindicate you so completely that even your worst enemy will have to acknowledge your innocence. But here's the plot twist they never saw coming. The very legal system they weaponized against you has discovered something about them, something so damaging that they're scrambling to reach out to you right now, pretending they want to make amends when really they're trying to save themselves from prison. You're sitting in peace, drinking your tea, meditating, building your new life, while they're drowning in a swamp of karma they created with their own hands. The inheritance they tried to steal from you, that money that had your name on it, the blessing they thought they could redirect by destroying your character, it's not only coming back to you but multiplied. Every rumor they spread, every lie they told, every attempt to paint you as evil has become evidence in a divine court case where the Most High himself is your attorney. The setup began long before you realized you were being targeted. Looking back now, you can identify the exact moment when the energy shifted, when certain people in that community started viewing you differently. It wasn't because of anything you did, it was because of what was coming to you. An inheritance, a settlement, a financial blessing that would have changed your entire life trajectory. They knew about it before you did. Someone leaked information, someone who was supposed to protect your interests sold you out for their own gain. The ringleader, let's call them exactly what they are, a wolf in sheep's clothing, started planting seeds months in advance. Small comments about your character, tiny questions about your integrity, seemingly innocent observations that were actually carefully crafted weapons designed to explode later. They studied you like a predator studies prey, learning your routines, your vulnerabilities, your trust patterns. Every conversation you had with them was being recorded in their mental database for future ammunition. But while they were building their case against you in the shadows, the Most High was building your defense in the heavenly realm. Every false word spoken was being inscribed in a divine ledger. Every secret meeting where they plotted your downfall was being witnessed by angels taking notes. You felt the shift in your spirit before your mind could process what was happening. Your solar plexus would churn when certain people approached. Your sleep became restless when you were around that community. Your body was trying to warn you that you were surrounded by enemies pretending to be family. The fascinating thing about spiritual warfare is that it often begins with intoxication. Not yours, theirs. The original transcript revealed something profound about overindulgence and substances. These people accusing you of moral failure were hiding their own addictions: alcohol, pills, darker things they thought nobody knew about. They projected their demons onto you because confronting their own would have required a level of honesty they weren't capable of, so they needed you to be the repository for all their shadow material, the scapegoat for their collective darkness. The specific nature of their addiction ran deeper than substances. They were addicted to control, to power, to the ability to shape narratives and destroy lives. Every time they successfully turned someone against you, they got a hit of that power drug. Every whispered rumor that took root gave them a rush better than any chemical could provide. They were intoxication personified, drunk on their own perceived righteousness while swimming in actual depravity. When you started pulling away from their toxic energy, that's when the real campaign began. It wasn't enough that you were leaving quietly, trying to preserve whatever peace remained. Your exit had to be reframed as abandonment. Your self-preservation had to be recast as betrayal. The community needed a narrative that justified the evil they were about to commit against you. So they created one where you were the villain who deserved everything coming your way. The Whisper campaign was methodical. First they targeted the elders, the ones whose opinions carried weight. They shared concerns, not accusations, because accusations could be challenged. Concerns were nebulous, impossible to defend against. They were worried about your spiritual state. They had questions about your lifestyle. They heard things, saw things, sensed things that troubled them deeply. Each conversation ended with a request for prayer, making their gossip seem holy, their slander appear sanctified. Then came the isolation tactics. Suddenly, invitations stopped coming. Group messages excluded you. Events happened without your knowledge. When you did show up places, conversations would halt mid-sentence, eyes would dart, uncomfortable silences would stretch until someone changed the subject to something safely superficial. You were being systematically removed from the community while still physically present, a ghost among the living, visible but untouchable. The genius of their strategy was making you question yourself. Maybe you had done something wrong. Maybe you had offended someone without realizing it. Maybe the distance you felt was your own projection, your own paranoia. They wanted you to internalize the rejection, to blame yourself for the exclusion, to carry the weight of crimes you hadn't committed. This is how spiritual abuse works. It makes the victim complicit in their own persecution by convincing them they deserve it. But here's what they didn't understand about chosen ones. Your spiritual DNA is different. You can sense deception, even when you can't prove it. You feel the shift in energy, even when smiles remain plastered on faces. Your inner knowing was screaming that something was terribly wrong, even as your mind tried to rationalize what was happening. This internal conflict, this cognitive dissonance, was part of their strategy to break you psychologically before they moved to destroy you publicly. The escalation happened faster than you could have imagined. The rumors started small, testing the waters to see what would stick. First they questioned your work ethic, then your relationships, then your mental stability. Each lie built upon the previous one, creating a narrative pyramid with you buried at the bottom. By the time they reached the peak of their deception, they were telling people you were involved in the darkest activities imaginable. Not just moral failure, but evil on a level that would justify complete excommunication from not just the community but humanity itself. Someone you trusted, someone who had sat at your table, someone who knew your secrets because you had foolishly considered them safe, became the primary witness against you. This Judas figure provided the insider information that made the lies seem credible. They shared private details that only someone close to you would know, weaving them into false narratives that seemed too specific to be fabricated. Your vulnerability in friendship became evidence in their prosecution. The betrayal cut deeper than any stranger's lie could have. This person had held your hand through difficult times. They had prayed with you, cried with you, celebrated with you. They knew your dreams, your fears, your struggles, and they weaponized every single piece of that intimate knowledge. They took the sacred trust of friendship and transformed it into ammunition for your destruction. The very shoulders you had leaned on became the platform from which they launched their attacks. The legal component entered when they realized character assassination wasn't enough. They needed official documentation of your supposed evil, so they went to authorities with their stories. They filed reports. They made statements. They thought having their lies on official paperwork would make them true. What they didn't realize was that lying to law enforcement is a crime. Perjury has consequences. False reports have ramifications. They were so blinded by their hatred that they didn't consider what would happen when authorities started requiring actual evidence. The police interviews were where their confidence began to crack. Officers trained in detecting deception started noticing inconsistencies. Detectives experienced in investigating real crimes recognized the patterns of fabrication. The stories that had seemed so solid when shared among willing believers began to crumble under professional scrutiny. Body language betrayed nervousness. Details changed between tellings. The collaborative lie they had all agreed to support started fracturing when individuals faced potential criminal charges for their participation. Meanwhile, you were navigating life in survival mode. Every day felt like walking through a minefield. You didn't know who to trust, where to go, what to say. The community that had once been your foundation had become quicksand, and every attempt to find solid ground only made you sink deeper. The exhaustion wasn't just emotional or mental, it was spiritual. fighting unseen forces, defending against invisible attacks, maintaining sanity while others questioned it. This was draining your life force, but watch this divine chess move. While they were busy destroying your reputation, the Most High was preparing your vindication. The money they were trying to keep from you, it was being held in spiritual escrow, accumulating interest with every lie they told. The relationships they were destroying, they were being replaced with divine connections you couldn't have accessed from within that toxic environment. The character assassination, it was actually liberation from a limited identity that would have kept you small. The inheritance situation requires deep understanding. This wasn't just about money. Though money was the physical manifestation, this was about power dynamics, control mechanisms, and spiritual authority. If you received what was rightfully yours, you would no longer need their validation. You would no longer be under their influence. You could build something beyond their reach, create something outside their control. This terrified them more than your supposed evil ever could. The documentation they didn't know existed started surfacing. Bank records showing the rightful beneficiary, legal documents with your name clearly stated, witness testimonies from people they didn't know were watching. The paper trail they thought they had destroyed was being reconstructed by divine intervention. Every piece of evidence they thought was buried was being resurrected at exactly the right moment. So they crafted eligibility requirements for your blessing that you could never meet if their stories were true. They convinced key people that someone of your character couldn't possibly deserve such abundance. They created moral clauses and spiritual prerequisites that would disqualify you based on their fabricated narrative. It was brilliant in its malevolence, sophisticated in its simplicity. Destroy the character, forfeit the inheritance, make someone unholy, deny them their blessing. But divine inheritance operates on different principles than human distribution. What has your name on it in the spiritual realm cannot be redirected through earthly manipulation. Every attempt to steal your blessing was actually building your case for compensation. Every lie told to block your abundance was adding multipliers to your eventual payout. The universe was keeping meticulous records, and compound interest on suffering is calculated at rates that would astound human mathematics. The first crack in their facade appeared when authorities started asking follow-up questions. The stories that seemed so solid in community gossip sessions suddenly sounded hollow in official interrogations. Details didn't match, timelines didn't align, witnesses contradicted each other. What had been a unified front of accusation became a chaos of confusion when examined under legal scrutiny. The lies that flourished in darkness withered in the light of investigation. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it, because somebody needs to know their vindication is already in motion. The ringleader, the one who orchestrated this entire persecution, started showing signs of panic. Late-night phone calls to co-conspirators, emergency meetings to get stories straight, desperate attempts to manufacture evidence that didn't exist. They were learning that maintaining lies requires exponentially more energy than simply telling the truth. Every fabrication needed 10 more to support it. Every deception demanded increasingly complex explanations. The house of cards was swaying in the wind of divine justice. Then came the betrayal within their own ranks. Someone who had participated in spreading rumors suddenly developed something resembling a conscience, not because they felt bad about what they did to you, but because they realized they were being set up to take the fall. The ringleader who had promised protection was now looking for scapegoats. The unity built on destroying you was crumbling as self-preservation instincts kicked in. Rats abandoning a sinking ship. Except these rats were starting to talk. The information that emerged was damning. Documentation of premeditated character assassination, evidence of financial motivation, proof of conspiracy to deny you rightful inheritance. What started as their investigation into your supposed evil had transformed into an investigation of their actual crimes. The hunters had become the hunted. The accusers had become the accused. The divine reversal was so perfect, it could only be orchestrated by the Most High himself. Remember that intoxication energy from the original revelation, the overindulgence and distorted view. Here's where it gets interesting. The very things they accused you of were literally manifesting in their own households. The ringleaders' drinking problem, which they'd hidden for years, suddenly became impossible to conceal. Their financial fraud, masked behind community respectability, started surfacing in audit reports. The affairs, the addictions, the abuse, everything they projected onto you was being exposed in their own lives. The exposure wasn't random or gradual. It was systematic and undeniable. Their spouse discovered the hidden bottles, their employer found the embezzled funds, their secret life became public knowledge. The careful image they had maintained for decades crumbled in weeks. Every skeleton in their closet decided to dance simultaneously, creating a macabre performance that the entire community was forced to witness. This wasn't coincidence. This was divine justice operating with surgical precision. Every lie they told about you became a prophecy over their own household. Every character assassination attempt became a suicide mission for their own reputation. The universe has a poetic sense of justice, and the poetry being written was an epic about the fall of false accusers and the rise of the falsely accused. The community that had so readily believed lies about you was now witnessing truth about them. The same people who whispered about your supposed evil were now whispering about their confirmed crimes. The shift in narrative was happening so fast that people couldn't keep up. Those who had participated in spreading rumors were now frantically trying to distance themselves from the ringleaders. Nobody wanted to be associated with the exposed frauds who had deceived an entire community. Your absence from this chaos was your greatest testimony. While they imploded, you were building. While they scrambled, you were steady. While they panicked, you were at peace. The contrast was so stark that even their supporters started questioning the narrative. How could someone so evil be so unbothered? How could someone so guilty be so graceful? The cognitive dissonance was breaking their collective delusion. Now we reach the present moment. The reason this message is finding you today. They want to meet with you. Not all of them, just the ones facing the most serious consequences. The ringleader specifically, who realizes that prison is a real possibility, needs something from you. They're crafting their approach carefully, trying to find the right combination of words that will get you to engage. They're even willing to admit to some wrongdoing, not all of it, but enough to seem repentant. But this isn't repentance. This is manipulation, dressed in confession clothing. They need you to validate their new narrative where everything was just a misunderstanding. They need you to sign something, say something, do something that will absolve them of legal liability. They want to use your forgiving nature, the very grace they mocked, as their get-out-of-jail-free card. The audacity is almost admirable if it weren't so absolutely disgusting. The approach will come through an intermediary first. Someone who wasn't directly involved but wasn't exactly innocent either. They'll test the waters, see if you're receptive to reconciliation. They'll use spiritual language, talk about forgiveness and moving forward, quote scriptures about unity and peace. They'll make it seem like you're the one holding on to the past if you don't immediately embrace their sudden desire for resolution. If that doesn't work, they'll try the direct approach. The ringleader themselves will reach out, probably with a long message about how they've been thinking and praying. They'll admit to some mistakes, careful not to acknowledge anything legally actionable. They'll suggest meeting in person, because some things are better discussed face to face. What they really mean is some things are better discussed without written evidence. The desperation in their approach will be palpable but disguised. They'll fluctuate between subtle threats and excessive flattery. One moment reminding you of what they could still do if pushed, the next moment praising qualities in you they previously denied existed. They're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, what combination of manipulation might work on you now. But here's what they don't understand. The verdict has already been rendered in heaven's court. Your vindication isn't dependent on their confession. Your blessing isn't contingent on their cooperation. Your future isn't connected to their validation. The Most High has already signed the release papers for everything they tried to hold hostage. The inheritance, the reputation, the relationships, everything is being restored with interest. The legal situation they created for themselves will proceed without your participation. You don't have to lift a finger for justice to be served. The authorities have everything they need. The evidence speaks for itself. The lies they told are documented. The conspiracy they orchestrated is exposed. Whether you forgive them or not, whether you meet with them or not, whether you acknowledge them or not, the consequences of their actions are already in motion. Your silence throughout this ordeal has been your superpower. They expected retaliation that would validate their narrative about your evil nature. They prepared for a war that never came. They built fortifications against attacks you never launched. Your refusal to engage at their level of warfare completely destabilized their strategy. You can't fight an enemy who won't show up to the battlefield you've chosen. This silence continues to be your strength. You don't owe them a meeting. You don't owe them forgiveness on their timeline. You don't owe them anything that would compromise your peace or position. The grace you've maintained isn't weakness they can exploit. It's a strength they can't comprehend. You've already won by refusing to become what they accused you of being. Now let's talk about what's coming to you, because this is where the story gets really good. The financial blessing that was originally yours, it's been multiplying in the spiritual realm every single day they delayed it. What might have been thousands has become tens of thousands. What might have been tens of thousands has become hundreds of thousands. The universe doesn't just repay, it compounds with interest rates that would make Wall Street weep. But money is just the beginning. Opportunities that were blocked are about to flood in. Connections that were severed are being divinely reconnected. Doors that were slammed are being supernaturally opened. Everything they tried to take from you is returning in forms more beautiful than the originals. You're about to understand what restoration looks like when the Most High decides to show off. The reputation they destroyed, it's being rebuilt with materials that can't be corrupted. The new narrative about you won't just clear your name, it will elevate it. People who heard the lies will not only learn the truth, but will become advocates for your character. Some will be so convicted about their participation in your persecution that they'll become your most vocal supporters. The very mouths that cursed you will be compelled to bless you. Your spiritual gifts that were suppressed in that toxic environment are about to explode with power. The prophetic dreams will become clearer. The intuitive knowing will become sharper. The healing ability will become stronger. Everything they tried to bind is being loosed with accumulated force. You're about to walk in a level of spiritual authority that would have terrified them, which is exactly why they tried to destroy you before you realized who you really were. The investigation has revealed more than just lies about you. It's exposed an entire network of corruption within that community. The financial fraud goes deeper than one inheritance. The moral failures involve more than one family. The spiritual deception has infected the entire leadership structure. What started as an investigation into their claims about you has become an investigation into their entire operation. Documents are being discovered that reveal years of financial manipulation. Testimony is emerging about other victims who were similarly persecuted when they got too close to the truth. Patterns of behavior are being identified that point to systematic abuse of power. The community that portrayed itself as righteous is being exposed as a den of carefully hidden thieves. The spiritual covering they claimed has been removed, revealing the rot beneath. Some of the most vocal participants in your persecution are now facing their own legal challenges. Tax evasion, fraud, embezzlement. The list reads like a criminal indictment because that's exactly what it's becoming. The authorities they thought would be their allies have become their worst nightmare. The legal system they weaponized against you has turned its full force against them. The bank failures mentioned in the original revelation are manifesting literally. Accounts are being frozen. Assets are being seized. Businesses built on stolen funds are collapsing. The empire they constructed on the foundation of lies about you is crumbling so spectacularly that even their supporters can't deny what's happening. The financial devastation is complete and irreversible. People from that community are starting to reach out to you, not the perpetrators but the deceived. They're apologizing for believing the lies. They're sharing what they've learned about what really happened. They're providing information that validates everything you intuited but couldn't prove. These conversations are healing for them and vindicating for you, though you don't need their validation anymore. One person in particular, someone who was close to the ringleader, has information that changes everything. They have documents, recordings, evidence that proves the premeditation of your persecution. They're willing to testify if needed. They're ready to expose everything because they realize they were being set up to take the fall for crimes they didn't commit. Their self-preservation has become your vindication. The truth emerging is more shocking than even you imagined. The depths of deception, the levels of conspiracy, the coordination of corruption. It's almost impressive in its evil, but every detail revealed adds another level to your compensation. Every exposed lie multiplies your blessing. Every revealed truth amplifies your vindication. The universe is ensuring that your restoration is proportional to your persecution. The chosen ones who are watching this need to understand something crucial. What happened to you wasn't random. You were targeted because of who you are, what you carry, where you're going. The evil they accused you of being was actually the evil they recognized in themselves but couldn't confront. Your light exposed their darkness simply by existing. Your integrity revealed their corruption without you saying a word. As we approach the culmination of this divine verdict, understand that you're not just being restored to where you were before this happened. You're being elevated to where you would have been if it had never happened, plus compensation for the journey. This is double portion territory. This is Job after the trial. This is Joseph after the prison. This is David after the cave. This is you after the false accusations. The spiritual authority you're about to walk in will make your enemies tremble, not because you'll use it against them, but because they'll recognize what they tried to destroy. They'll see the mantle they attempted to steal. They'll witness the glory they tried to diminish. Your very existence will be a testimony to the failure of their wickedness and the triumph of divine justice. The relationships coming into your life now are divine connections, people who vibrate at your frequency, souls who recognize your authenticity, warriors who understand your battle scars. You're being connected to your true tribe, the ones who would never require you to dim your light to make them comfortable. These relationships will be so rich, so real, so refreshing, that you'll thank God for removing you from that counterfeit community. The wisdom you gained through this trial has made you dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You can now recognize deception before it fully manifests. You can sense betrayal before it strikes. You can identify false prophets before they speak. You've been through the advanced course in spiritual warfare, and you passed with honors. The enemy will think twice before targeting you again. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something. But talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Here's the truth they never wanted you to know. You were never evil. You were never what they said you were. You were dangerous to their dysfunction. You were a threat to their deception. You were a light that exposed what they wanted to keep hidden. They didn't hate you. They feared you. They didn't reject you. They recognized that you were beyond their ability to control. The community that spread rumors about you being evil is watching their own evil being exposed. The very accusations they made against you have become their own indictments. The narrative they created to destroy you has become the story of their own destruction. This is divine poetry, cosmic justice, spiritual vindication at its finest. The Most High hasn't just freed you from blame, He's crowned you with glory. You're not just innocent, you're honored. You're not just cleared, you're celebrated. You're not just vindicated, you're elevated. Everything they meant for evil has been transformed into your greatest good. Every curse they spoke has become a blessing. Every door they closed has led to better ones opening. As this message closes the same way it opened, understand this full circle moment. They called you evil, painted you as the devil incarnate, whispered that you would hurt children and destroy the vulnerable. But now, right now, at this very moment, the Most High has exposed their own hidden addictions, their fraud, and the money they stole from you. The ringleader they followed is facing arrest. The community that rejected you is witnessing the collapse of everything built on lies about you. You won, not through fighting but through faith, not through retaliation but through resilience, not through hatred but through grace. Your victory is so complete that even your enemies will have to acknowledge it. Your vindication is so thorough that even doubters will believe it. Your blessing is so abundant that even critics will be silenced by it. This is your season, chosen one. Walk in it fully, own it completely, celebrate it thoroughly. The Most High has spoken your vindication into existence, and what He has declared, no human can overturn. You are free from blame. You are clear of all charges. You are vindicated in every realm. You are chosen, and that choosing has been validated by the highest court in existence. The community that tried to destroy you is learning a lesson they'll never forget. You don't come against the chosen ones of the Most High without facing divine consequences. You don't spread rumors about evil when you're harboring evil yourself. You don't try to steal blessings that have divine names on them. You don't persecute the innocent and expect to prosper. Your story will be told as a testimony to others walking through false accusations. Your victory will inspire chosen ones who are currently in the fire. Your vindication will give hope to those who feel hopeless. You didn't just survive this for yourself, you survived it to show others it's possible to emerge from the worst persecution stronger than ever. Welcome to your vindication season. Welcome to your restoration chapter. Welcome to your multiplication moment. The Most High has freed you from blame, and that freedom is permanent, irrevocable, and divinely protected. Nobody can ever successfully come against you again. Your protection is sealed, your blessing is secured, your future is guaranteed. Walk forward knowing that the same power that vindicated you is going before you. Every step you take is ordered. Every door you approach is already opening. Every blessing with your name on it is finding its way to you. You are free, you are chosen, and you are victorious. This is your time, and nobody can take it from you. The evil they accused you of has boomeranged back to expose their own. The community that spread rumors about you is drowning in the consequences of their lies. And you're rising like the phoenix from ashes they thought would be your grave.